Yo, what's up? So today we are making a dragon cake. Now, this is one of my life goals. I always wanted to make a dragon cake. I have almost zero cake decorating experience. Well, not zero, but I haven't decorated a cake in at least 5 years. And even when I did decorate a couple cakes, they weren't that well or anything crazy at all like this. This is my first time even doing like a 2-tiered cake design, if that goes to show you anything. So this ended up being a little bit of a baking fail. It's not great, but I'm still really proud of it because it was my first time doing anything like this, and in my mind, it still was a sufficient dragon to pass the life goal of making a dragon cake. So here I'm putting on the Rice Krispie Dragon, and one thing you'll notice is that I put on like very not hard Rice Krispie treats and then immediately soaked it with a bunch of heavy frosting, and I think some of these things that you'll see me do accumulate to this being an ultimate failure. This was a bad idea. I was trying to like smooth out the Rice Krispie treats. I don't know why I thought that frosting was a good idea. It wasn't. I just go over it again with like 4 other different kinds of frosting later on. So let's see, now I'm putting on some regular not goopy frosting and just covering the whole dragon, which again, bad idea because I later go back and put like a 3rd layer of frosting over him and he ends up just absolutely collapsing over time. But this is when I realized how difficult it is to frost a shaped Rice Krispie treat on a cake. I guess this is why most cake decorators use fondant. Next time I'll have to whip up some fondant. But yeah, and also note, this was supposed to be a blue dragon. Apparently blueberry preserves are purple, and the dragon ended up being pink, and then he kind of ended up just being white. But at this point I'm just trying to get him covered. I'm just trying to frost this dragon to some extent and realizing how bad my frosting skills are. And now I'm starting to do the scales. So my idea was to do like lines of scales with a bit of, that's cocoa powder mixed with hot water in between, because I wanted to do like the shadows for the scales. I think this would look cool if he wasn't like a weird off-white color. Like if he was any darker, brighter color, I think that the cocoa powder bit might have looked okay. Well, I probably shouldn't have had it as goopy. Eventually he ended up just being goopy and shiny and I mean, he's still beautiful. I love him. I feel bad that I ate him. And now I'm putting on some really ugly claws. Oh, yeah, there they are. So the reason I used the star tool was because I didn't have a good wider circle tip. So that's why he has like star claws, which are kind of weird, but not the worst thing. And that's when he started falling apart. So first his tail started going, and it's a shame because I was really proud of this design and I was really happy with that I had the whole thing on the cake with no toothpicks. Everything was edible. And then his tail started falling off, probably because I put like 8 layers of frosting on it and like didn't actually let the Rice Krispie treat like harden out and become rock solid. So I just pinned the heck out of that tail with some toothpicks. Meanwhile, putting on more and more and more layers of frosting scales, which were starting to look uglier and uglier. So I made the terrible decision of coloring in over his scales with the brown cocoa. There we go. And I thought it would look maybe better, and at first I thought it kind of looked better, and then it just started looking worse and worse, but I had already committed to it. So we're finishing up the scales here, and this is when I realized that frosting isn't easy to like draw things with. I thought this would be easy. I thought I'd just get a basic shape done and then I could just sort of paint on the features, and then I realized that I'm working with like not even like clay. I'm working with literally like mush. I'm trying to mold mush and then paint on top of it. Alright, so he has some very classic cake-styled horns, which at that point I kind of gave up a little bit. And then I was actually proud of his nose. Now it's not great, but later I sort of molded a bit more with some, I think I'm doing it now, so I put over a layer of white and then the brown, and then it ended up being like a molded, wrinkly nose. And I felt like I was sort of on the path towards maybe something cool, but then look, now his tail's falling off, and any moment here, that's when his neck breaks. And at that point, after jabbing him with as many pins as I could, I was about done. So that was my dragon cake. I would definitely still call it a dragon cake. I still call it a bit of a baking fail. It wasn't great. I learned a lot. I'm really excited. I want to make more. I definitely need to redeem myself and do this again. And hopefully next time you see me make a dragon cake, it will be amazing. If you don't consider this one amazing. I mean, this one was still kind of fun. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. This goes to show, if you want to make a dragon cake and have zero cake decorating experience, go ahead and do it. And have a good rest of your night. Bye!